And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to another episode of the Mike Prince Show. As you know, we keep these phone lines rolling. Today is no exception to the rule. I'm speaking now with the head basketball coach for the Prairie View A&M University men's basketball program, none other than Coach Byron Smith. How you doing, Coach?
Doing well, Mike. Yourself?
Man, I dare not complain. I know you're on the road, so I do appreciate you taking some time out to chat with us on today, man.
My pleasure.
Well, look, it's just about that time. Well, the time is here. It's always basketball season because with the way the training has evolved, there's really no off days, even in the off seasons. So bring us up to speed, man, on what you've been up to.
Just work, Mike. I mean, basketball is what I do, and what God has blessed me, with the responsibility of doing this at the prestigious Prairie View University. So, obviously we got a new group, got some returners, but pretty much a new group that's in the fold this year. We've been working with those guys the last six weeks, and we like what we see. So, obviously recruiting is never ending. We were working hard, trying to continue to bring quality student athletes to campus to Prairie View. So, working hard in recruiting and working hard with our current players. So, just staying busy, doing what we've been called to do, and we like where we are right now as a program. We're undefeated, hadn't lost any games, but hadn't played any games yet either. So, that task will come up real soon in going against competition. But we're in a good place of space right now as far as our program is concerned. And you're looking for big things for the 2022-23 basketball season.
Yes, sir. Now, with the evolvement of the portal and these NIL deals, and, I got to always throw in my AAU shots when I can, this thing becomes a bit more challenging each and every time. It seems like you're stepping up to a new season. What is it for you to adjust as recruiting, keeping guys in place, dealing with these other outside elements to build a winning program?
Well, I think for me, I pretty much remain the same under all circumstances. But you have to break, but you have to be willing to bend a little bit and be a little bit more flexible with the changing times of collegiate athletics. As it relates to the portal, I think that we've lost some kids to the portal, but for positive reasons. I don't think anyone was disgruntled or not liking their situation at Prairie View. Was to get back closer to home or just wanting a different role. We've been able to benefit from the portal and being able to offer something that maybe these young men felt like they weren't getting the opportunity to experience at the previous institution, and something about our style of play and how we play was appealing to them. So it's been give and take. We've received and we've lost with the portal, the NIL stuff. Obviously, that's a little bit above really where we are. I think we do have some student athletes at Prairie View that have been blessed to be able to be involved with NIL deals. Last year, our only guy, Juwan Daniels. I think it's a host of other athletes and track athletes, few football players at Prairie View that have been able to benefit from the NIL. We hope that we will have more opportunities to get involved with that in the near future. But as far as that goes, I think we're right at about the 50% threshold with the NIL. I think we're probably at about 75-85% in a positive way with the transfer portal. Obviously, the AAU scene that you kind of talked about a little bit, we still feel that it's in our best interest at Prairie View at this time to go for the older player, the more experienced player, as opposed to the high school young kids that's coming in. Not saying that we won't take a quality high school player, but he's going to have to be, have some grown man instincts in him to come and want to be able to play. The biggest thing with Mike is that very few kids nowadays, no matter where you get them from, high school, junior college, prep school, another transfer, they want immediate reward and gratification. They want to play right away in the form of playing time. So it's very hard, very difficult to recruit a kid now from high school and ask him to come in and sit a year, watch and learn and get stronger, get acclimated to the program, watch someone play behind someone that's a senior or a junior upperclassman, learn from that person and then be ready to be plugged in your redshirt freshman year. very difficult to get a young man to be able to do that right now. We live in a microwave society where it's now. I need to play right now. I need to get all that I can get right now because tomorrow's not promised. So we're careful about who we recruit, but I do like the direction that we're going as far as recruiting. We got some quality kids coming in, and like I said, looking for big things for this upcoming year.
Now, Coach, when you talk about that, the different approach you have to take as far as dealing with a freshman, a JUCO, or a portal transfer, what would be the difference between a JUCO and a portal transfer? When I think about a portal transfer, not in all cases, but in some cases, they say beware of the portal because there's baggage that might come with these kids. So what's the difference when you recruit a JUCO or a portal transfer?
Well, there's a lot of similarities, but there are some differences. I think it's a great point that you touched on with the baggage. Some of these young men, 3 or 4 different opportunities and places that they've been at, you have to be very careful there. Because there could be some baggage. It could be some emotional stuff. They've been beaten down. They haven't attained or achieved the success that they set out to when they first started, their college experience. So it could be a lot of frustration, some anger, some mental blocks that would prevent them from being able to come in and learn a system and to be able to come in and contribute if they have 2 years or 1 year, whatever the case may be. I think the junior college kids, some of them have issues, have some baggage as well, and they may be dealing with the fact that, I didn't get a Division I offer when I was coming out of high school, or there's been a label that, academically he wasn't able to be able to meet the standard, the expectation, and or just not someone just saying, hey, we're just going to go in a different direction. So, I think you deal with some confidence, with some of the junior college kids. I think just the emotional turmoil, trauma, maybe that a portal kid has gone through. But at the end of the day, I always say this, Mike, when we bring in kids, and I'm very upfront and forthright with them and their families, that no matter what you did before you got to Prairie View, be it good or not so good, it doesn't matter in terms of it's a clean slate. Now, obviously, we're not going to bring kids to our program that have behavioral issues, off-the-court issues that could come in and that could have a negative impact on what we're trying to do at Prairie View. But it's obviously, with kids that we do recruit and that we do have interest in, think they can come in and have impact, it doesn't matter if they scored 30 points in junior college, or if they scored 30 points at another Division I institution, or if they scored 0 points or didn't play much at all. It doesn't matter. When you come to us, it's a clean slate, and you're going to be given an opportunity to create some value for yourself, and the value that we're talking about is get an opportunity to play.
Now, Coach, I have to ask this question, and not to try to put you in a jam or anything, but we know that the 3.0, 3.2 GPA requirements for some of these, well, not for some, but for student athletes, how difficult does it make it for your job when it comes to recruiting to find that player that's going to fit your style of play and have that GPA? I know they say there are certain circumstances where there's a review, but I have my opinions about that. I'm not asking you for that, but I'm just asking you, how does that add stress levels to your job?
I mean, stress probably would be the word I would use. It's very difficult, very challenging protocol that's in place for anyone. Then Nick Saban would struggle with this, the greatest of all time, the GOAT. He would struggle with something like this because obviously when you're dealing with kids that, all the money that's in professional sports, I mean, obviously it's to their advantage to have a deep commitment and a focus on their respective sport. So obviously it's pretty hard to give 100% focus, time, and effort into serving two masters, if you will. They do go together. Athletics and academics and athletics. But obviously, if you've got a kid that is on a trajectory to being an NBA prospect or an NBA player, he's been identified as being such, being a 7-footer as a sophomore. He's getting pulled and tugged so many different directions, so sometimes the academic piece can slip because he's so busy with the basketball at his high school, so busy with AAU, with select teams and select camps and things like that, so the grades can slip. So to answer your question, it's been very challenging. And what it put us in a position to have to do, Mike, is to go after grad transfers. You look at our roster, it's pretty full of grad transfers. In that particular protocol, the GPA restrictions don't affect the grad transfer. They can just come in as is, as long as they have a 2.0 and with a bachelor's degree from a respective institution that they attended before. But it is very challenging. But I always say this, Mike, the people that can make the adjustments in life are the ones that are the most successful. And I think that we have been able to make the adjustment, albeit being very challenging, as I've stated before, but we've been able to stay afloat. And I do think that with the exception of an off year in 21-22, I think we've been able to, be able to handle it and be able to get done what we need to get done. And I think this year, is going to be somewhat similar to what we've done in the past years before 21-22 in terms of how our program is doing wins and losses.
Okay, and so we know it's about winning, but it seems like now it's about winning right now. We don't have time to build. You got to hit the floor running, and you got to make it happen. And do you embrace that challenge?
Absolutely, Mike. I mean, that's why, you hear coaches all the time talk, hey, we're out in the community, and, hey, man, we've got the GPA, Ohio GPA award, and we're graduating our student athletes and all that. And obviously, that comes with it. But at the end of the day, from a coaching perspective and for what we're required to do, the bottom line is wins. And, coaches will get reprimanded, obviously for, not being able to meet the academic expectations in terms of graduating student athletes, but not winning enough games to get you fired a whole lot quicker than, not having a 3.0 for team GPA. So, I embrace it. I think we all embrace it. There's so much competition right now that you better embrace it. If not, you're not going to be around very long.
Yeah, I can see the headline now. He's a good guy, but he just couldn't win enough, so we have to go another direction. I do understand that. Now, look, Coach, bring us up to speed. I know there's changes always going on. I know you got your coaching staff and some of the players you got coming in. So if you can, run us through that real quick.
A new coaching staff is stayed intact with the exception of Noah Croak, the young assistant that got an opportunity to move on to Charleston State. And so he transitioned over there. We brought in a SWAC veteran, Johnny Williams, who was at Texas Southern, won the championship over there with them. Last year, Alabama A&M, he was on their staff. So he's a guy that's got some Houston roots, some Texas ties, understands the league, and is an excellent recruiter, national recruiter, junior college in Midwest, which is the area that he's from. So we welcome Johnny Williams to our staff. I think he's going to do an outstanding job. Our new players, I mean, it's just a plethora of new guys, 8 to 9 new guys. I will start with our returning guys. Will Douglas, who is one of our better returning players, was very inconsistent last year, Mike, as you probably know, but he's had a great summer. I think he's kind of recommitted himself to getting back to doing the things that put him in position to get a scholarship to SMU. Obviously, he's a grad transfer from SMU. Had a big-time summer, had a great fall camp. We're expecting Will to be one of the better players in the SWAC this year because he had some big games last year, 25 against Texas Southern and 21 against Alcorn. So he can be that guy that can I'm not going to say he has to carry us, because I think we're pretty talented, but he can be the best of the best from our program. Jeremiah Gambrell is another returner. One of the best shooters in the country, not only conference, but in the country. Been a little bit inconsistent with injuries and things like that. Had to move over off the ball last year from the two guards natural position to playing the point guard position, so they kind of hurt him statistically in terms of scoring because, obviously running plays for him. Now you switch over to him facilitating and running plays for other people. So affected him offensively last year, but we were able to come in, bring in some new point guards to get him back to his natural position. So we're expecting big things from Will Douglas and Jeremiah Gambrell. Braden Bell, the 6'7", stretch 3-4 guy from Marist College by way of Dallas. Can really shoot the basketball. Really expect some big things from him. He's a great kid, great young man, great family. Really high basketball IQ. Can really score. So looking for him to come in and give us some numbers. Cortrick Miles, by way of West Alabama, the Division II All-American, started out at New Mexico State. He's a Dallas kid as well. And really looking for some big things from him. slash guy, kind of a 2-3 player, but really athletic, and really just going to be a nice piece to our program. And, it really had a solid fall camp as well. Byron Smith, a grad transfer from Detroit University over in Alabama, really a big-time athlete. He's a shooter, can stretch the ball. We've got quite a few shooters on our roster this year, Mike, that will really help us have more balance, not just depend on one or two guys. Got a lot of experience. Byron is going to come in and be a really solid defender for us. Like I say, he can make a shot. He can go get some rebounds for us. So, Nikkei Ruddy, 6'9", big man. Obviously, we finally got one of those. Grad transfer from Monmouth up in New Jersey, New York City kid. Good body, like I say, 6'9", about 225. Really strong guy. Really good interior player. They were one game last year from going to the NCAA tournament at Monmouth, and he was a starter on that team. So, fortunate to get him. He's going to come in and obviously show up on the inside. Now, a surprise guy that we got, I think he's going to be very impactful. 2 years ago, he was an all-conference player over Texas Southern. Yahuza Rosas is a 6'7", slash 4'3" kind of guy, can move over, can play some 5. Really athletic kid, great rebounder, just a tenacious player that plays with his mind, body, and soul, and got a lot of experience. So he's a grad transfer from Texas. He's a plug-and-play guy. Knows the league very well. A lot of energy. Just a great addition to our program. So we're counting on those guys. Got a few more that are coming in. But those are the guys that kind of stand out in the beginning, and we're expecting some big things from, along with our returns.
Well, look, man, it sounds like almost an international squad you got these days, man.
Well, I'll tell you what. If you've seen the big 7'4" kid from France that everybody's talking about, Victor Wembanyama, I think everybody's in their best interest to look at the international route because they've got some big-time players all over the world. That kid, I don't know if you say it, Mike, but he is a generational talent, and the world better look out when he comes over for the NBA next year. Got a chance to be pretty special. So the game is global, Mike. It's all over the world. Players all over the world want to come to the States and get an opportunity to play college basketball, then have a chance maybe to compete and have a shot at the NBA. So, it's a good time. Basketball is thriving. And obviously, we'll go get them from anywhere. They can shoot, dribble, and pass, and if they can spell cat, maybe we're going to get them in school and give them and try to go out and win some more championships.
Now, is that going to be cat with a C or with a K, man?
Hey, I'll leave that to the professor's discretion. So,
I leave that to compliance, right?
Yeah, exactly. There you go. Absolutely.
Oh, man. Coach Byron Smith with the Prairie View A&M University men's basketball program. As you can hear, he is a busy man. He's on the road right now. And, Coach, I want to thank you, man, so much for always making and taking time. And, of course, I got you plugged in when the season gets started that we'll have our weekly conversations on the games that was and the games that will be, sir.
Sounds good, Mike. And as always, I appreciate your time and your support for our program. A pillar, in our program since I've taken over. So your support and your attention to what we're doing means a lot to us. And, it's guys like yourself, Mike, that we want to go out and do good things to make you, obviously, a Prairie View alumni, proud of our basketball program. So appreciate you again. And anytime we can get on with it, we'd love to do that. Look forward to it.
Well, look, my man, we look forward to it. Mutual love and respect from both sides, and we're going to keep that thing thriving. I need you to stay safe on the road, and you got that seatbelt on, right?
Absolutely, without a doubt. Click it or tick it, so no doubt about it.
I know that's right. I know that. And look, you're not having a heavy foot, are you?
No, man. I'm from Louisiana, man, so we walk slow, talk low.
All right, slow talker, slow walker, you be good, man. He is Coach Byron Smith of the Prairie View A&M University Panthers. I am the radio guy, Dr. Mike Prince. Thank you guys so much for joining in with us. And until the next time, you guys be blessed, and we'll see you on the other side.